Welcome back to the channel. Before you even think about hitting that skip button, I want you to pause for just a moment. What I'm about to share with you isn't just another motivational talk. This is a roadmap to transforming your entire existence, a profound journey of personal power that could quite literally change everything you thought you knew about control, success, and inner peace. Imagine for a second that you could become invisible to the noise, the expectations, the constant bombardment of external pressures. Not physically disappearing, but mentally and emotionally withdrawing in a way that gives you unprecedented control over your life. Sounds intriguing, right? The ancient Stoic philosophers understood something profound about human nature, a secret that most people in our hyper-connected, always-on world have completely forgotten. They knew that true power doesn't come from controlling everything around you, but from mastering your internal world. Let me take you on a journey that Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, would have appreciated. He once said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he is not, but rejoices for those which he has." This isn't just a quote. It's a radical philosophy of liberation. Our modern world constantly tells us to chase, to acquire, to be perpetually hungry for more. More followers, more money, more validation. But what if I told you that the most revolutionary act of rebellion is learning to disappear from this endless cycle of external validation? The art of disappearing isn't about physical withdrawal. It's about creating an impenetrable fortress of mental and emotional resilience. It's about understanding that most of what disturbs us is actually within our control, not external circumstances, but our perception and reaction to them. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his legendary work Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Think about that for a moment. In a world that constantly tries to make you feel powerless, you actually hold the most potent weapon of all, your mind. Let me break this down practically. Every single day, we're bombarded with triggers that threaten to derail our peace. A critical comment from a colleague, an unexpected bill, a relationship challenge. These are the external storms that most people allow to completely disrupt their internal climate. But what if you could learn to become so centered, so internally robust, that these storms become mere background noise? The Stoic practice of negative visualization is a powerful technique that might seem counterintuitive at first. Instead of always hoping for the best, you deliberately imagine worst-case scenarios. Why? Because when you make peace with potential challenges beforehand, nothing can truly shake your foundation. Seneca, another remarkable Stoic philosopher, eloquently stated, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Most of our stress doesn't come from actual events, but from our catastrophic storytelling about potential events. We're essentially traumatizing ourselves with narratives that haven't even happened. By learning to disappear, to create a mental and emotional space where external chaos cannot penetrate, you're not escaping. You're strategically positioning yourself as the calm center of any storm. You become the observer, not the reactive participant. Consider this practical framework I'm about to share as your personal operating system for life mastery. It's not about suppressing emotions or becoming some robotic, unfeeling entity. It's about developing such profound self-awareness that you can choose your response instead of being a victim of knee-jerk reactions. The first pillar of this framework is radical acceptance. This means looking at your current reality with all its imperfections and saying, "This is where I am right now, and that's okay." No resistance, no drama, just clear-eyed acknowledgement. Epictetus would remind us, don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. The second pillar is intentional detachment. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care deeply while understanding that certain things are beyond your direct control. You invest your energy in what you can influence and gracefully release what you cannot. Think about successful people you admire. The truly exceptional ones aren't those who control every single variable. They're the ones who have an almost Zen-like ability to flow around obstacles, to adapt without losing their core essence. They've mastered the art of disappearing from reactive patterns. Let me share a personal perspective. Every time you choose not to engage with drama, every moment you refuse to be pulled into someone else's emotional narrative, you're essentially disappearing from the landscape of unnecessary conflict. You're choosing peace over being right. You're choosing inner tranquility over external validation. Practical application matters more than philosophical pontification. So, how do you actually implement this in real life? Start with small practices of disappearance. When someone tries to provoke you, instead of immediate retaliation, create a momentary pause. Breathe. Observe your impulse without being consumed by it. Social media and digital environments are modern battlegrounds of attention and emotional manipulation. Learning to disappear means consciously curating your digital consumption. It means understanding that not every message requires a response. Not every comment needs your energy. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, would likely view our current technology-driven world as the ultimate test of mental discipline. He might argue that true freedom comes from being so internally anchored that external noise becomes irrelevant. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds great in theory, but how do I practically implement this? The beauty is in incremental practice. Start with meditation, not as a trendy wellness practice, but as a deliberate training ground for your mind. 5 minutes daily of simply observing your thoughts without judgment can be more transformative than hours of reactive living. Physical practices matter too. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, adequate sleep. These aren't just health recommendations. They're strategic investments in your mental resilience. A well-maintained body provides a stable platform for an unshakable mind. Journal regularly, but not in a way that amplifies your anxieties. Instead, use journaling as a tool for objective self-observation. Write down your thoughts, recognize patterns, but don't get emotionally entangled with every narrative your mind produces. Remember, disappearing isn't about becoming invisible. It's about becoming so internally powerful that you choose where to direct your attention and energy. You become the strategist of your own life, not a reactive participant. One of the most profound Stoic practices is understanding the difference between what's in your control and what isn't. Draw a clear mental boundary. Your thoughts, your responses, your effort, these are in your control. External events, others' opinions, unexpected circumstances, these are not. As we approach the conclusion of this exploration, I want you to understand something crucial. Mastering the art of disappearing is not about disconnection. It's about intentional connection. You're not escaping life. You're engaging with it on your own terms. The ultimate goal is to cultivate such a robust internal landscape that external turbulence becomes a non-issue. You become like a mountain, unmoved by passing clouds, unshaken by temporary storms. Seneca once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This is the essence of our discussion today. Freedom isn't about having no constraints. It's about having complete sovereignty over your inner world. Your life is a canvas, and you are the artist. Every moment offers a choice, to be pulled by external currents or to deliberately chart your course. The power of disappearing is the power of choice. As we conclude, I challenge you. Start small. Create one moment of intentional pause today. Observe a trigger without reacting. Breathe through an impulse. These aren't grand gestures. They're revolutionary acts of self-mastery. Remember, true power isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. True power is quiet, centered, and profoundly transformative. Are you ready to disappear, to become the master of your life?